It's a 20-year mystery, literally a case of gone without a trace. Brooke Henson disappeared on July 4th, 1999. Henson was 20 years old at the time, only about 5'4" and barely 100 pounds. She was last seen walking down her street in Travelers Rest. It was right here on Henderson Drive. We mapped it out for you that it happened. But what happened to her while walking down this road? I can't answer that question, but here's what Travelers Rest Police Chief Ben Ford confirmed today. Henson's boyfriend, Sean Shirley, was the last person to see Henson alive. For the first time in 20 years, Chief Ford calls him, quote, main person of interest in her disappearance. Chief Ford also confirmed Shirley died on Tuesday morning of this week. The chief sat down with me today to talk about this case. It's those last two developments which is bringing this 20-year-old missing persons case back into the headlines, as the chief is hoping those who know what happened to Brooke Henson will finally come forward. It was July 3rd, 1999.
There was a party at the residence of Brooke Henson.
The party lasted for hours into the July 4th holiday. According to the original missing persons report, which was just released for the first time, Henson's mom says Brooke and her boyfriend Sean Shirley got into a, quote, verbal dispute in the victim's bedroom when the victim left the residence walking an unknown direction.
And she was never seen again. That's the basic story that we've been told.
So what happened along Henderson Drive on July 4th, 1999? Travelers Rest Police Chief Ben Ford.
There are conflicting statements about what happened after that.
20 years later, still no answers. However, Chief Ford shared with me his theory.
I truly believe that night, that she didn't live through that night, is what I believe. And we're trying to pin down exactly who was involved in that.
Chief Ford says her boyfriend, Sean Shirley, is a person of interest, which for the first time has been made public.
He's a person of interest in the Brooke Henson disappearance.
Why is Shirley still considered a person of interest?
Based on the investigation and the statements that we do have, a lot of it pointed towards him being involved and what happened to her. Again, she is still a missing person. We have no remains. We can't confirm that she's dead. However, a lot of people have shared information that he was involved in what happened to her. Now, we never had enough evidence to charge him with anything. So that's why we're still calling, yeah, he's a person of interest. He's still a person of interest, even though he's deceased.
The Greenville County coroner confirmed Sean Shirley died Tuesday morning.
We were shocked when we got that phone call.
Chief Ford says he was shocked because 20 hours prior, this happened.
Monday morning, we received a phone call of possible information in the Brooke Henson disappearance. It was Brooke Henson's childhood home.
Henson's brother and his wife still live at the home.
We responded and we talked to them.
Chief Ford says his team spent hours on the property. He confirms they didn't find anything to break the case, but it's what happened next that piqued his interest.
The next morning, Tuesday morning, we got a call from Greenville County in which they said that Ricky Sean Shirley was found dead. We were shocked at that. we were surprised. It can't be, we don't think it's a coincidence.
Chief Ford explains what he thinks happened.
We start digging, people start talking. So based on that theory, did somebody call him and say that we were over at the house and we were asking questions? We don't know. We hope to find out soon.
Chief Ford says Shirley maintained his innocence.
He has been interviewed in the past. He has never admitted anything. He's always denied any involvement.
Chief Ford says while Shirley's death is tragic for his family and while he feels terrible for them during their time of grief, his job is to find out what happened to Brooke Henson.
People were afraid to talk. People are afraid to talk. And I really, truly believe that people were afraid of Sean Shirley, or if it's someone else that's the suspect, they're afraid of that person. And people are afraid of revenge. And I really believe that to be the case. I believe that there were multiple people at that party that night. I believe that at least one or more people know what happened to her, more than just her walking away. We just need help from the community. We desperately need it, and I'm begging for it. I'm really asking the community to step forward.
I do want to point out again, Chief Ford says Shirley is not a suspect, only a person of interest as of tonight. The coroner says as for Shirley's cause of death, the toxicology results will take 30 to 60 days. Chief Ford, though, as you heard him, is begging anyone and those who actually know what happened to Brooke Henson to call them or to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.